Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Today we are going to read chapter 8. So everyone will repeat after me and together we will read this chapter. So let's start. Chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
The banyan tree.
The banyan tree.
Before you read, have you seen a mongoose?
Have you seen a mongoose?
You have read in lesson 9
You have read a lesson 9
that a mongoose can fight with
that a mongoose can find it
and kill a snake.
and kill a snake.
Look at the pictures and read
Look at the pictures and read
the lines given along with them.
the lines given along with them.
Fight of the cobra and the mongoose
The fight of the cobra and mongoose
is a classic drama
is a classic drama
often seen in India,
often seen in India.
and the outcome is largely the same.
From large research,
The mongoose is not immune to the venomous bite,
the mongoose is not
but is faster and quicker in motion
the faster emotion and fever
than the snake.
than the snake.
The cobra assumes a posture of defense
The cobra joins up questions of it
and attempts to reach the animal
and attempt to reach the animal
by a sweeping strike.
by the sweeping side.
But the quick moving mongoose
But the big moving mongoose
jumps out of reach
jumps out of reach
and comes at the snake from another
and comes at the snake of the another
direction.
direction.
Before the snake can get into striking position again, this constant movement tires and discourages the snake.
This concept of
And the mongoose is finally able to leap in close
and mongoose is finally
and bury its teeth in the snake's neck,
and bury his teeth in his neck.
usually severing the joints of its vertebra.
Uses words of
You must have seen a banyan tree.
You must have seen a banyan tree.
This is a story about what the author saw.
This is a story about what the daughter saw.
As a young boy, when he was sitting in an old banyan tree
And in the sitting of the banyan tree
in his grandfather's house.
in the grandfather's house.
Part 1.
Part 1.
Though the house and grounds belonged to my grandparents,
Grandparents.
the magnificent old banyan tree was mine. Chiefly because grandfather
Chiefly because grandfather
at 65
at 65
could no longer climb it.
could no longer climb it.
Its spreading branches,
And spreading branches
which hung to the ground
which hung to the ground
and took root again,
and took root again,
forming a number of twisting passages,
forming another and sweet passages,
gave me endless pleasure.
gave me the left leg of
Among them were squirrels and snails
among their goods
and butterflies.
and butterflies.
The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as Dehradun itself. I could hide myself in its branches,
I could hide myself in the branches
behind thick green leaves,
behind
and spy on the world below.
and the stars on the wall below.
My first friend was a small grey squirrel,
My first friend was a small gray squirrel,
arching his back and sniffing into the air,
arching his back and sniffing
He seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy. But when he found that I did not arm myself with catapult or air gun, he became friendly. And when I started bringing him pieces of cake and biscuits, he grew quite bold and was soon talking morsels from hand. Before long, he was delving into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The red-bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy, parrots, myna and crows, squabbling with one another. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. I could read there propping myself up against the tree with a cushion from the living room. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn and the Story of Dr. Dolittle were some of the books that made up my banyan tree library. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the world below. And no one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view of that classic of the Indian whites, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. Part 2. The warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. I was feeling drowsy myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramu and the buffaloes. When I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus, at the same time, a mongoose emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. In a clearing beneath the banyan tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. The cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive. But the cobra, too, was a skillful and experienced fighter. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light. And the sacs behind his long sharp fangs were full of deadly poison. It was to be a battle of champions. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground. And spread his broad, spectacled hood. The mongoose pushed his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of 2 other spectators. One was a myna and other a jungle crow. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with the both of them. The cobra stood on the defensive, swaying slowly from side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking eyes, and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's range. The mongoose made a pretended move to one side. Immediately the cobra struck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. At the same moment that the cobra struck, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily in mid-air. Shrieking insults at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened on the cobra's back. The cobra struck and missed.
The cobra stopped and missed.
Again the mongoose sprang aside,
Again the mongoose from the side
jumped in and bit.
jumped in and bit.
Again the birds dived at the snake,
Again the birds dived at the snake,
bumped into each other instead,
bumped into each other instead,
and returned shrieking to the safety of the cactus.
and returned shrieking to the safety of the cactus.
The third round followed the same course
The third round sum up the full race
as the first, but
as the first was
with one dramatic difference.
from traffic process.
The crow and the manna,
The crow of the runner
still determined to take part in the proceedings,
saw the great mining of the
dived at the cobra,
tiger, the cobra,
but this time
but this time
they missed each other as well as their mark.
they released all their partner.
The myna flew on and reached its perch,
And Mana was sitting on each of us.
but the crow tried to pull up in midair and turn back.
The good and bad in media and to that.
In the second that
And the second that
it took the bird to do this,
don't shoot at
the cobra whipped his head back
the cobra put his head back
and struck with great force,
and struck with great force.
his snout thudding against the crow's body.
Now turned against the good body.
I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet
I saw the god clearly 20 feet
across the garden.
across the line.
It fluttered about for a while,
Fluttered about for line.
then lay still.
Then stay still.
The manna remained on the cactus plant,
The manna remained on the cactus plant.
and when
And when
the snake and the mongoose returned to the fight,
the rain endures to the burn of the eye,
very wisely decided not to interfere again.
verify the record in the suit.
The cobra was weakening,
The cobra is a beacon,
and the mongoose,
and the mongoose
walking fearlessly up to it,
walking fearlessly,
raised himself on his short legs,
raising himself in a short leg,
and with a lightning snap
and was lightning snap.
had the big snake by the snout. The cobra writhed and laughed
This cobra legs with head
about in a frightening manner,
about in a frightful manner,
and even coiled itself about the mongoose,
and the ever frightful set front of the mongoose.
but to no avail.
But to know again,
The little fellow hung grimly on
the little fellow was creeping on
until the snake had ceased to struggle.
until the snake and seals of oven.
He then smelt along its quivering length,
His hand of again earthly hand,
gripped it round the hood,
gripped around the rope,
and dragged it into the bushes.
and dragged it into blizzard.
The myna dropped cautiously to the ground,
The man drops the completely to the ground,
hopped about,
hoped about,
peered into the bushes
peered into the bushes
from a safe distance,
from a safe distance,
and then,
and
with a shrill cry of congratulation,
when the great kind of congratulation
flew away.
flew again,
Written by Ruskin Bond.
written by the Zumar.